Hi. One of my favorite podcasts I've been listening to over the years was Point of Inquiry, a skeptical organization and podcast with many interesting guests, scientists, skeptics, authors, and imagine my surprise to find out that Chris Mooney is now an official knucklehead, because I downloaded the last 2 episodes of this show, Point of Inquiry. That's produced by the Center for Inquiry, by Adam Isaacs. And turns out that they're drinking the Kool-aid. Chris Mooney is now officially a knuckle-headed Kool-aid drinker. I hate to put labels on this, but guess who one of his recent guests was? Amanda Marcotte, on the Point of Inquiry, a skeptics forum. Now, to put a radical feminist like Amanda Marcotte on a skeptical issues discussion show, it's I was waiting to hear some hard-nosed questions by Chris Mooney, the skeptic. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. There were 2 shows that I just downloaded. Okay, as I said, the one was with Amanda Marcotte, with the host Chris Mooney from the Point of Inquiry. No softballs there, right? Yeah, okay, we'll see. And also another episode with the guest Carol Tavris, who I know from way back when, because I'm an old-time men's rights activist, and this woman's been writing books about gender issues for years and years. And she was, Carol Tavris was interviewed by Indre Viscontis. So I started listening to that show, and I thought I was on a feminist radio program, because that's exactly what their discussion was like. Like, they were both feminists, blaming things on men and stereotypes and the science of psychology. Is that really a science? I don't think it is. So anyway, this Carol Tavris, before I get on to the show with Amanda Marcotte, Carol Tavris, these are just a couple of quotes that she made. One was the host had asked, I think she came up with an idea, Indre came up with an idea about gender blindness, and actually a method maybe to solve a lot of these he shed, she shed problems, or employment problems, or courtroom problems. Just make it gender blind. I agree with that. Make it gender blind, and people will be judged on the merits of the case. But you know what Carol Tavris says? It's hard to implement gender blindness. Okay, gee, why is it hard to implement gender blindness? This was in response to the idea, the problem of, I believe it was a symphony somewhere, where gender was becoming a problem. There was a question about, should we make it the next member a male or female? So the idea by Indre was, why don't we just turn our backs and listen to the music? Don't even see if it's a man or a woman. That was a fair idea. But this feminist, Carol Tavris, as you know, feminism is not now about gender equality. Now we have to boost women and girls, disproportionately. And also this other, Carol Tavris also come up with, she said the male brain and body is selfish. Okay, I don't know what study she's referring to, but she should really get back to us on that. Now let's get to the meat of the point here. So Chris Mooney had Amanda Marcotte on the show. Man, now they're really going to get down to skepticism, right? No, they're not. Chris Mooney, right off the bat, made it clear that he didn't like the war on women. What he means is the VAWA thing, the Violence Against Women Act, was not voted for by many Republicans. So of course he brings up the Republican war on women. So I didn't know skeptics were really just Democrats. You know, I'm a libertarian. I know many libertarians who are men's rights activists, and we don't label ourselves, you know, us in the MHR, Men's Human Rights Movement, we're Democrats, Libertarians, Republicans, blacks, whites, women, gay, straight. But it appears that you have a checklist, Mr. Mooney, and only Republicans are against women, and if you don't agree with the Violence Against Women Act, then you're against women. And of course, according to him, all women should be feminists and Democrats, right? Is that true? But that's good, because I'm just oblivious, Mr. Mooney. Do you know what's going on around you? Do you read the comments? Look at the comments in this particular show. Do you see many people agreeing with you? Do you see, right on, we're feminists and we're going to stop this? Oh, the point of this whole show actually is the Center for Inquiry is going to have a conference in Washington, D.C. in May called Women in Secularism Squared, I guess. A little two there. I don't know if it's squared or if it's the second, but gee, I didn't know the Center for Inquiry had such a main thrust is women's rights or perceived women's problems. Because let's see, you know what? If you look at the website for this Women in Secularism Squared, the website says, within the free thought movement, skeptics are debating the role of social justice in regard to gender equality and incidents of hostility toward women. I didn't know that that's what's going on in the free thought movement. Skeptics are debating the role of social justice in regard to gender equality and incidents of hostility toward women. No, I don't think skeptics are debating the role of social justice in regard to gender equality and incidents of hostility toward women. I think feminists are debating the role of social justice in regard to gender equality and incidents of hostility toward women. I'm a skeptic, and I'm going to be skeptical about all subjects presented to me, including feminism. That's funny, Chris Mooney, you don't have that. You don't have that discipline, do you? Take a perusal of the comments. Regarding this the latest show. Look up MRA. Look up the Men's Human Rights Movement. See what they have to say. They seem to agree that women should have equal rights. They don't believe in hostility towards women. So we are not the enemy. We believe in equality, and we don't believe in hostility to men or women. But you seem to think that women should get special treatment as far as hostility. That's funny. And of course the people, there's a list of about 20 people at this Women in Secularism 2, or Women in Secularism Squared conference in May, D.C., 2013. I just wrote down a few that I recognize as, Jennifer Hecht, Amanda Marcotte, and the famous Rebecca Watson are going to be at this Women in Secularism Squared conference. So you pretty much know where that's going. But anyway, as far as Chris Mooney, and as I was saying, Mr. Mooney, I guess I'm sort of glad that you don't know what's going on around you, because you think, I guess, I don't know who the enemy is as far as the skepticism movement, but I know as far as the men's rights activists and men's human rights activists, radical feminists are our enemy. They deny men and boys equal rights with them. They don't believe that we should have equal rights. But the point is, the men's movement doesn't need the skeptics movement, because actually we can define ourselves, and we will fight for our own rights. And the way we can do that is because actually we have this fight in our hands because what we will do, if need be, men will go their own way. That is the answer. We don't need to convince anyone that we're right. Maybe the skeptics movement has to. Maybe the feminists have to, because other people own them. But men, we own ourselves, whether we know it or not. And the enlightened men in the movement know that. We do own it. So we don't need to convince someone to stop browbeating us because we're browbeating ourselves. So when we go into the MGTOW movement, men going their own way, we're just going to refuse to get into the meat grinder. We're going to refuse to get in a rat race. We're going to do exactly what we choose to do, and we're going to benefit ourselves and our loved ones, and no more, no less. We're not. How about this? As an example, heard on A Voice for Men, I think the European episode, that in Sweden, female firefighters going under testing could not lift the required amount of poundage, to save somebody, and they repeatedly failed. I don't know if all of the females failed, but a number of them failed. They couldn't do it, and the male test givers were berated for making these candidates cry because they failed the test. Now, can you just imagine this? A candidate for a firefighter. She couldn't do the job. She was upset. She's crying. Look, sorry to hear that. Men cry too, okay? But yes, it's good to have compassion, but if you can't do the job, you can't do the job. And are we going to totally throw away all our standards? We really can't do that, But if that's what it's come to, it seems that what it's come to in Sweden, those poor men over there, you can't win no matter what you do, okay? You're saving people from burning buildings. You're trying to recruit women. They can't do it. Then you get berated for pointing it out. The answer, I hate to say it, it's MGTOW. Men going their own way. Sweden, I don't know how it's going to work out for you guys out there, but maybe in some way some of this feminism is benefiting you. I don't know, but it seems like not. And go your own way, man. Bow out of that shit. Come on, leave that country. There's no future there for you, is there? No, at some point they're going to ship you off into your own cities, But well, that's it. Really like you to check out those podcasts on Point of Inquiry with Chris Mooney and Amanda Marcotte. Let's bury this show and this group. The Center for Inquiry, you're finished. You have no moral standing. You're not unbiased. You're in the cog of Big Sister. You're just another also ran. You're just another Democratic apologist. You're a feminist group. You're not a skeptic anymore. So admit that. So take care. Until next time. Bye bye.